Good evening, afternoon, morning, whenever you're watching this, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Mostly Mavs Podcast with Caden, Garza, and Jude, Halbert. Today, we're of course going to be talking about, the finals, Jalen Brunson, Victor Wembanyama. The big thing that's going on right now, of course, in the NBA world is the NBA Finals. That's ginormous, of course, but we are mostly Mavs. So we're also going to be getting into the coaching search update and what the sale of the jerseys could mean. But first, Jude, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. Really excited for this game that I just told you I was going to miss. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to watch the part of the game tonight. Still excited to see what happens for our guy, Jalen Brunson. I don't care what anyone says. It's our guy. We're rooting for him. Just can't wait for the rest of the series to get going.
Of course, and this is getting filmed before Game 2 has started. If I'm very responsible with the way that this is supposed to go, then this will be out before the game starts. But you never know with technical difficulties how things may go, what may happen. So yeah, let's just dive right into that. Game 1 was eventful, to say the least. The Spurs had, control for most of the game. They built themselves up upwards of a 15-point lead, I believe. And then they just started doing what a young team does when they have a giant lead. They started chucking up threes. They started trying to make that lead balloon into something that was just much greater than what it was. And in the finals, it's a different game. You don't really win games like that. You're kind of starting to see their youth where instead of getting to the line, getting to the rim, and trying to force, tough situations for the Knicks and their bigs and their lineup and just create a situation where getting the lead back for the Knicks was very hard. They kind of just leaned into shooting threes and just getting up shots and trying to balloon the lead. And that didn't work because Jalen Brunson's on the other team. And when he has the ball in his hands in the fourth quarter, good things usually happen for the Knicks. And that's what ultimately did happen. Jalen Brunson hit some big shots at the end of the game. OG hit a couple shots. Both of them honestly had a pretty lackluster game to start. Cat was kind of carrying the load for the first half and going to the third quarter. But then, OG and Jalen were able to pull through in the fourth quarter. Do you have any thoughts so far about this series and how it's going? Because it kind of seems like nobody expected this to happen in the way it did. But, everybody that I've ever talked to has been like, oh, the Spurs, it's going to be an easy series. Spurs have it. Spurs, it's going to go this way. It's going to go that way. But I feel like they're starting to forget, or they're starting to remember that the Knicks are a pretty good basketball team.
Yeah, and the Knicks, I wouldn't say, obviously their Cat is, I don't even know if he's
Jude?
The roster is just big.
Jude?
Across
Jude?
the board. I can hear you.
You're gonna have to backtrack. You're gonna have to backtrack to that first sentence.
Okay.
Kind of a little frozen.
All good. Technical difficulties aside, Cat obviously is not like a 7-footer, right? But he's big, right? Mm-hmm. And the rest of the Knicks, I guess their starting lineup, like Mikal is big positionally. OG's like big positionally. The only one you can, and even Hart plays big for his size. Oh, obviously you could say it's Brunson, but even people call him Big Body Brunson. Like he's not just like some.
He plays big.
Like like he's not Trae Young like size wise. Like he's a bigger body, and I think the Spurs, or I guess the Knicks match up better than I expected with the Spurs. And when I was watching it happen, I wasn't as surprised as I thought I would be. And also just coming off of that game for San Antonio, Game 7, it's not the most surprising in the world that they kind of let off the gas a little bit. And really, they what's crazy is they're still so young. They're still trying to figure it out. And that's why it's just insane that they've had such a deep run, because their entire starting lineup has no experience. And the one guy that has experience, even he hasn't played well, except for Game 7 in Oklahoma City. But Yeah. I think the game one just confirmed it's going to be a long series. I don't know who's going to win the series, honestly. I'm just really excited to see how the Spurs can bounce back, and especially Wemby. I was really glad after the game he took accountability, and that might be, to some people it's just kind of like whatever, but that's important. Like when a guy comes out after the game and he says, "I suck tonight. I need to be better." That to me is very important, and Wemby has shown that he is that type of leader. So I'm excited to see if or how he bounces back tonight.
And that is an interesting takeaway from the game. That Wemby, he did have a bad night. And you could say against the Thunder that he had bad nights, but those weren't really imposed by the bigs. Because, Chet does have somewhat of a problem guarding Wemby. Hart played better, but he was guarding him illegally the entire series, and the refs were kind of letting that go. Do you think that the Knicks, their size was a genuine factor in the way that Wemby was playing? Because he did take a lot of threes. I'm pulling up the stat sheet right now just to confirm, but I feel like he took a lot of perimeter shots and a lot of jumpers in this game as well.
I want to say, just eye test, it felt like he dribbled a lot. I know that sounds really, I don't know. That's super analytically.
It's also crazy too because I feel like Castle has the ball in his hands all the time. So it could be just like we think that, Castle has the ball a little bit less than he usually does, and Wemby just has the ball a little bit more than he usually does. That, that could be but he did have the ball. He was dribbling a lot. I did notice that. It seems that we are having more technical difficulties. Sorry for the
technical difficulties again. We're back.
Yes. Okay. We're back.
I didn't say anything. I waited patiently. Cat just is a better matchup for Wemby than Hardenstein and Chet. Like, I don't know what has gotten into Cat the last month or two, but I mean, I don't know anybody that expected this, but especially on both ends. Because the thing with Cat is he's always been super talented, but like he plays out of control or he gets in foul trouble or it's always like something with him. And I don't know. I don't know if it's just he's bought into this system. They're they're on a deep run and he's just kind of bought into everything they ask him to do. But even I like the way they put him in the offense. Like he catches the ball on top of the key. He's kind of facilitating everything. And that's something I didn't even know he had. He's never been asked to do that in any other situation he's been in. I think that's credit to Mike Brown for seeing that and just understanding that. Yeah. And because I think the problem with the Knicks, I think we talked about it before, or maybe I didn't, was Brunson was too ball centric and like in the past Knicks teams. And it's not a bad thing against Brunson. It's just we're seeing it now. We know he has the ball a little less and he can produce more almost or more efficiently, even though he didn't shoot well the other night. The offense just seems to run way better when it goes through Cat. And like I said, I'm just super impressed with Cat.
And I feel like they aren't depending on Jalen Brunson's shot making ability. They're kind of like utilizing it. They've switched to be able to utilize his shot making facility instead of depending on it. And I mean, that's opened up so many doors for players like Landry Shamet and Jose Alvarado. Jose Alvarado had really good minutes whenever Brunson went out. He had really good minutes when Brunson went out. Deuce McBride made a couple crazy shots. Landry made a couple crazy shots. These guys just make some insane shots. And Jude we were on the phone yesterday, and Jude was talking about how, like, what other teams could these guys be this good on? Like, I mean, it's going to take, first off, a team that doesn't have depth, and a team that needs more shooting than them. And honestly, Dallas Mavericks could use maybe a Landry Shamet,
or Deuce McBride. Yeah.
Or a Deuce McBride. Because, I mean, these guys go in and they're shooters, but they're shooters that make, like, hard shots. And especially in the finals, when you get to this stage, having people that can make very difficult shots when you need it is extremely important. And taking the ball out of Brunson's hands for the majority of the game has really opened up their offense to be able to get the ball in those people's hands.
And they just have the ultimate green light.
Yeah.
I don't really know how they earned it per se. I don't even know if they did or the coach just kind of gave them it and saw that that's the type of roles they could play.
Yeah.
And you're right. I don't really know what – I think those guys just improved too. Like, that could be a part of it. Like, Landry
Shamet played 33 minutes. He played 33 minutes. He had 6
definitely
threes.
improved. Like, I remember a few years ago, he would shoot threes, and I'm like, oh, okay, like, I'm not worried about him making shots. But now it's like when he shoots, I'm like, dang, he missed? Like, it's just – that's a testament to him.
But he's always looked like a shooter.
Yes.
He's always looked like a shooter. He's always looked like he's got a really good shot, and he's very confident in the way he shoots it. But right now it's coming together, and he's making some crazy shots. He did have an 11 for 12 game or 11 for 13 game, 12 for 13 game in these playoffs. The highest field goal percentage, 3-point shooting percentage in a game in the playoffs ever. And then when you go look over at the Spurs stat sheet, you see Wemby shooting 9 threes. I mean, if you see Wemby shooting 9 threes, he shot 6 for 21, 2 for 9 from the 3-point line. I mean, it would have been a different game if he were to be more efficient from beyond the arc, but still you had to factor in that he wasn't. He shot 12 for 13 free throws. He shot a lot of free throws in this game. It's been a while since I've seen him shoot this many free throws, honestly. And let's see, how many did Castle? I mean, turnovers wasn't too crazy. Wemby did have 6 turnovers, but other than that, nobody really had a ridiculous amount of turnovers for the Spurs. And then, honestly, I think it was just shot making at the end of the game. And that's what it was. That's what it came down to. I mean, there isn't too much of a huge margin in any of these statistical categories, but something I just noticed off the rip was they were able to make shots when the Spurs weren't. The Knicks were able to make shots when the Spurs weren't. And that's what it came down to at the end of the game.
Technical difficulties. We're back.
Yes, we're back.
All right.
It's a technical difficulty day. I don't know what's going on right now, but it's just going on.
It's that type of day.
It's just that type of day.
Yeah, like I said, I'm really excited to see.
We're sorry, guys. Jude knows ball will be back soon. Let's hope. Jude knows ball is back.
We're back.
Jude knows ball is back.
Last point on this. We're good. Are we all okay?
We're good.
Yeah, okay. Mitch, last thing on this. You said when we called yesterday, you didn't really, you weren't too high on Mitch Johnson. We'll find out tonight. We'll see what type of adjustments they make. Especially a young team, they don't really know. They've never been in these situations, so it's partly on the coach and his staff to kind of push different buttons and kind of just figure the series out, because there's some things that Spurs can do, definitely. But they'll probably shoot better. I think there's also just some matchups things they can do better. But, yeah, this series, don't let it go back 2-0 to MSG. Yeah. Don't let that happen, San Antonio. You don't want that.
You do not want that. But they do have El Jefe on their side. They have the Jefe. They have El Jefe. So if they need any advice, they'll go to him. But since we are mostly Mavs, we're going to dive into some Maverick stuff right now. There has been some interesting developments for the Dallas Mavericks. Of course, we know that the Valley View lot has been purchased by the Dallas Mavericks, and they plan to build their arena there in the coming future. They still haven't released when that's going to happen or how it's going to happen or renderings or anything like that. They haven't really completely confirmed that they are moving. But it's pretty much, it's going to happen. And it's probably going to be a Valley View. It's almost guaranteed to be a Valley View. That being said, there's another interesting development that's going on. A couple days ago, the Dallas Mavericks posted all their jerseys on their website for 50% off. They cleaned house. They cleared house. I, unfortunately, was too late to the party. I specifically wanted a City Edition, even though I barely wore it, a City Edition Derek Lively jersey. because I like to collect the City Edition jerseys, and I don't have Derek Lively yet. I have a number 2 Kyrie Irving jersey that I can put some tape on the back, call it Derek Lively, but I can't do that.
I have
Besides
the
the
same
fact,
jersey.
besides the fact, it's a great jersey. Besides the fact,
Amazing.
This could mean 2 things. And we already have confirmed that means one of these 2 things. One being the Dallas Mavericks are parting ways with Chime as their jersey sponsor, as a sponsorship partner for the organization. And that has been confirmed today. The Dallas Mavericks they posted a video basically stating that they are no longer affiliated with Chime, and they thank them for their collaboration efforts with them throughout their contract and throughout their time being affiliated with the Dallas Mavericks. But this could also mean another thing, which is, I would think, is a very interesting development that's going on right now and relates to everything that's going on within the Mavericks organization, which a potential rebrand. Something that has been long overdue for the Dallas Mavericks. It's been over 25 years. I think it's been a very, very, very long time since the Dallas Mavericks have received a rebrand. I know they rolled out the light blue jerseys in like 2009, 10, 11, whenever they did that. But other than that, there really hasn't been too much change for the Dallas Mavericks, other than like City Edition jerseys, throwback, stuff like that. No logo, no drastic logo change. But I would be very interested in this happening. I feel like it's long overdue. There's been multiple teams that have received a rebrand. The Timberwolves just got leaked for their rebrand. The Houston Rockets just had a questionable rebrand. Jersey-wise, they're all right. Logo-wise, it's absolutely horrendous.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
I would love a Dallas Mavericks rebrand.
I would too. I think, we talked about it. The time to rebrand is now, because we're entering a new chapter, and a very exciting chapter in Mavs, basketball. And, you might as well. We're cleaning house pretty much everywhere in the organization. So, like you said, we're long overdue. I kind of could talk myself into any rebrand. I think I told you that as well.
Anything.
Like, I'm just so much of a fan that, like, everyone else could say it's terrible, and I'd be like, no, man, like, this is really cool, man. Like, tough. Yeah, that's part of our fandom.
Did you ever try to talk yourself into the graffiti jersey?
Ooh, that would take me some time.
Yeah, that was a bad one.
Or the trash bag.
Dude, bro.
Woo!
I have a tough, bro. The trash bag jersey was tough. That's a tough jersey.
I kind of think it. No, listen. I think it was so bad that it was actually kind of tough.
Yes, bro.
Does that make sense?
They sell it on Mitchell and Ness too. I kind of
buy one, bro. I cannot believe it when I was a little kid and I saw Dirk in a trash bag jersey that I thought it was cool.
It was pretty cool. It was black, like basically black. It was like
Imagine wearing that in public.
Dude, I would wear it in public.
I think actually
I'd wear it on a pod.
I think it would look better in public. That was the thing with it. It would look cooler if a person's wearing rather than a player in a game.
Yeah, that makes sense. I see that.
But yeah, rebrand stuff. It's really cool. I'm excited to see if that actually happens. It's speculation as of now. But yeah, let's go. New era of Mavs basketball.
Would you mind a primary green color? Go back to the green?
About 60 seconds ago, I said I could talk myself into anything.
Yeah.
The green is really cool. I think it's also kind of like a tribute to the old, like the old, first era of the Mavs. I think it would be a cool thing to kind of bring that back.
Green, and they've experimented with it a little bit. They have experimented a lot.
Yeah. I don't know if I loved it then, to be honest. I could be misremembering it. But like I said, now, I can talk myself into anything. I'm excited.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, let's hope for that. Going away from the green chime patch, let's go to full green jerseys. Let's go to a new logo, new branding, new social media look, new public image. It seems like Patrick Mont's fine with anything right now. Completely cleaned house, hired a authoritarian leader as our president of basketball operations, and he's got all the reins to do whatever he wants, and I'm on board with it. I'm on board with it. Do whatever you want, Masai Ujiri. I could not care less. Patrick Dumont told Jude the other day, maybe a hot take, I love him as a owner so far, as he's leading the Dallas. I've loved him
for the Mavericks.
And, he had one blip in the road. You can't give him too much blame. He's not, I understand he bought a basketball team, but he was brainwashed by an evil man. So you got to cut him some slack. We love this guy, and we're gonna try to ride with him. But there's been a coaching search update.
Yes, the Mark Stein reports the Mavs are starting to seek permission to speak with a dozen or so candidates, including Duke's John Shire, Michigan's Dusty May, Minnesota's Micah Nori, Houston's Royal Ivy, Toronto's Yama Maela, Boston's Tony Dobbins, Miami consultant Noah LaRoche, and former Mavs assistant, shout out, legend. He was on that staff that won the 2011 championship, Terry Stotts.
There we go.
And he also says they did try to approach Sweeney. I know everyone wanted Sweeney, so they did look into that a little bit. And last thing he mentions is he could opt to explore his options in the Euro and women's game, but there were no names. So I think basically, just to build up that a little bit, they're kicking every tire possible for the search, which is the absolute right thing they should do. I even mentioned to you that I think they're probably calling coaches that are on staffs, like, maybe even head coaches right now. Just make them tell no, similar to the GM search with Dumont, right? Make guys tell no, because that's the worst they can say. And I like some of these candidates. Some of these guys don't have head coaching experience, but like obviously the Duke or the college guys do, but the NBA guys don't. But that's okay. Like as long as we want a young coach that can develop and grow this new team, and if it's a coach that's a player relations guy, we just had a similar guy to that, Jason Kidd, and like I know Royal Ivy, he's a relations guy. Like Kevin Durant loves that guy. Not that means anything, but I know some things about him. Same with Yama Malele, same thing, player relations. So yeah, I think a young coach is the way to go. But yeah, I think it's great, kicking every tire possible.
Y'all know my view on the coaching search. Let's just get some youth in here.
Yep.
Let's get some youth in here. Or let's get a new face. Okay. I don't want to go in the coaching carousel and get, Nick Nurse, Doc Rivers.
He's a great podcaster.
Billy Donovan. Yeah. Great podcaster. Let's keep him on the mic. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's keep him on the mic. If he wants to come over here, little guest appearance, we're fine with that, Doc.
You're welcome.
We're good with that. Stay in your lane, bro. Okay. We saw what happened to Paul George when he started podcasting. We saw what happened when he stepped away from it. Okay? But I don't want a podcaster as our head coach. I want somebody who's going to come in and is young. He's got a young brain. Worked for the Lakers, but they have some much bigger problems to address. We can get on that in another day, but John Shire, Dusty May, I like those names.
Love it.
And Micah Nori has been a very popular name in the search. And when you look at these guys, you don't necessarily need to go get a big name, big fish that's already coached or that's already been a head coach, that's already been in the game. I think it's very valuable that you have a young mind and a young face that can run the show, that can put the ball in Cooper's. If you're putting the ball in Cooper's hand, whatever, fine with me. Okay. But I really do appreciate that they are really taking this head coaching search seriously. Literally a few days after we said that, there's been not many reports coming out based on the head coaching search. Here we go with a dozen names that are being called out publicly that they are searching aggressively for a head coach. And it's really great to see that. It's really great to see that Masai is approaching this with extreme importance. And, Patrick Dumont's taking a back seat, and I don't mind that at all. But let's hope to see, a head coach in the near future for the Dallas Mavericks.
We'll have him before the draft.
It should.
I'll make that prediction.
I hope. I'm praying. Yeah. And I would honestly be very surprised if they didn't have a head coach that time soon. And honestly, with this report that comes out, it makes me think that we're going to see one in a couple weeks, which is very promising for us. And if it's John Steyer, it would be amazing for the headlines, but it would also be great for my, emotions. Let's say it would be great for my emotions. I would be a happy person.
Yeah.
Any closing remarks?
No. Hey, we're inching closer to the draft.
We're getting there. Do you know how many days?
I want to say 18.
Chat. How many days?
I'm going to say my number is 18.
Should we do a... Chat. Come on, man. Searching the web. 18 days away, Jude Halbert. 18 days until the first round of the NBA draft of course, it's at the Barclays Center. Is it
18
always
divided by 2 is 9.
There?
That's our pick. I don't know. Is it always at the Barclays? No. Wait,
it's
maybe.
Always in New York.
That's a good question.
That's
a question. I think
I've
right.
seen it there a few times. But whatever.
We haven't been focusing too much on the draft besides last year.
We're focused way too much on how the Dallas Mavericks are going to win the NBA championship in 3 years. That's what we're focused on right now. We're not focused on where the draft is, what's going on. But yeah, let's hope so at least. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Be sure to tune into the Mostly Mavs Everything. Our tags are now up here now. So make sure you go drop a follow on the tags up there. Drop a follow on C. Del Garza and Jude Noseball _. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you all later. Let's go, Mavs.